Alikho player kuKaizer Chiefs Mpilo elinginikeza ithemba.
How?
Because if it's 0-0, ubani uzoskorela Mpilo?
Hello and welcome to Coordination Fan TV. I am Pilo, I am your host. This is where fans meet and talk about Kaizer Chiefs, Amakhosi Football Club. And today I am joined by Charlie. Charlie, welcome to the show, my brother.
I'm happy to be here. Thank you very much.
I will give you a name of a player. You will tell me whether it's a hit or a miss, whether Chiefs should sign him or not, and give reasons for that. Under 30 seconds. Balin Pachna, hit or miss?
Total miss. Too old, hasn't played football in forever. His numbers are not impressive. My red flag, so miss.
Wavele waqala ngempi. Boris Kopitovic, 63 goals, 60 games. What do you think?
Kopitovic, his numbers cannot be ignored. I mean, even if you say league, like it's not a good league, but those numbers, even if it's not a good league, those numbers are crazy. So I think if ngekho omunye, I think they should gamble bamthathe because ngizobathi contract yakhe iphela manje December, free agent, you have nothing to lose. I think if bangatholi omunye, I think they should try Kopitovic.
Okay, simuve siye ku Fiston Mayele. I don't know if you've heard much about Fiston Mayele.
Lapho siyathatha lapho. If he's available, 100%. Fiston Mayele is an incredible striker. He's strong, in movement yakhe, he moves very nicely. Scoring goals in the Tanzanian league. The Tanzanian league is actually a very good league. And he's scoring goals there. Bugamanje is when they came back because bekahlale le team yakhe idlalela konje young Africans. Wahlala there for Champions League football. And I think he scored 2 hat-tricks.
Yes.
For the qualifying. He scored like 2 hat-tricks. Iyanga yim disappointed, but he's a phenomenal player. That is the type of player that the Kaizer Chiefs really should be going for because just of how good he is.
No, ngiyakuzwa. Sibongiseni Mthethwa.
Yazi uSibongiseni Mthethwa is a fantastic footballer now. I think he's 28 now, he's in his prime. The only reason mina engilwa ne signing of a CDM is uSamkelo Zwane. That's the only reason I'm against signing a CDM because you have Unjabulo Blom, is raised ku Kaizer Chiefs, he's a phenomenal player, and then you have Usamkelo Zwane who's just as good. I think he's 20 years old. If she sign another CDM, then the progress ka Usamkelo Zwane siyibuyisele emuva because simbeka down the pecking order. Because if you choose to sign Sibongiseni, asimsayineli ukuthi ayohlala ebenchini. Sibongiseni wants to play. Yeah, he has to play. So if let's say uzobheka uBlom noSibongiseni yibo abazobe compete, you can't throw Samkelo into the mix. So mina for now I'd say keep uNjabulo Blom and then have Samkelo Zwane behind uNjabulo Blom. Then kube yibo vela abazamayo lapha ku Chiefs.
Sure, that's well put. Now we have do you think we have a crisis in a way, or we lack options with left back position? Because to me, I feel like Plant has played okay, but modern fullbacks, as much as Abantu Beti, he doesn't overlap because it's a tactic that is told by coach ukuthi akatake in to midfield in order to break a counter. But I've not seen him break a counter. I've not seen him play creative passes in that position because Kui City, Ukai Loka plays in those positions. He's a right back, but uyangena eswini mabe attacker or João Cancelo or when there was Zinchenko. But I don't see that with the Chiefs, with Uthland. I can see him being okay defensively, but going forward, I don't see anything. I don't know. It's okay if you don't agree with me. What do you think of Uthland? Because mina, this season I can give him a 6, even a 5 out of 10 because he's given us one dimension but not the other. What have you thought of Uthland?
Yeah, Uthland had pretty much have the same idea njengoba usho nawe. Yeah, it's been decent. I think, especially in the last couple of games, Unjabulo Blom has been helping him out a lot. Especially if you remember the game against the Pirates. Uthland alone was not going to cope with Usaling. Njabelo made a major contribution to helping Uhlanti with left back. In other games, and he's been doing his job at defender, but we are Kaiser Chiefs. We're supposed to impose ourselves on the opponents. Whatever team we play, finally see kube yiyo edlala in their own half. So I think left back is a position you need to look at. Sibone ukuthi angeke mhlawumbe sithole umunye, and then Uhlanti abe more of a mentor maybe to a younger left back. Yabona nje abe khona as a replacement, but as a starter, we definitely do need another left back. I don't know why we let go of. Well, as long as niggas have a chance, they say it's due to injuries and stuff. What's this guy that went to Amazulu?
Mabilis. Mabilis, yeah.
Mabilis. Mabilis is a good left back. He goes forward, comes back, but as they say, my injury and stuff. But yeah, I do think we do need another left back. Especially if he gets injured, because I don't want to move Edmilson to left back because he's been so good with centre back. I don't think we need to move him Simisegu left back. And he can play left back, but I don't want that to happen. So I do think Chiefs need to look at getting another left back. Buma Anda, Ukona, Omega. I don't know whether he's ready. He's been good for the youngsters, Omega Mdaga, but I don't think he's yet ready to first team. So I do think we need to have a look at that left back position.
And while we're talking about the left back position, do you think Uzwane sees Happy Mashiane as a left back? Or even as an option?
Not at all. Because last season he would rather have
Frosler.
He would rather have Frosler at left back than play Happy Mashiane. I personally think Happy Mashiane's time at Kaizer Chiefs is over. I don't think Uzwane looks at him as an option. He did give him a chance in the trophy and he had it was a horror show. He wasn't good. He was off the pace, which is understandable because he hasn't played in forever. So I think it would be best for Chiefs and Mashiane for him to maybe move also, because I think he's a good player. Happy Mashiane is not a bad player. He's an excellent player. He's a wonderful cross of the ball. He's shy cross, but yeah, I think and the Kaizer Chiefs, I think it's time for him to move elsewhere.
Yeah, it's really been difficult. Another player that that's interesting is Indaba Kone. I know this will probably be a touchy subject for some people watching, but Ukune is good and it's been good for us. We've not lost a game. The problem is after Kune, who do we have? Because we saw since he got injured, we did not really have a balance like goalkeeper bethu bebeshintshaniswa. And then now there were rumors ukuthi why untwana League Development who was promoted, I forget whether Umlife or Mumloi, the goalkeeper. So ukuthi there were rumors ukuthi he wants to leave the Chiefs because he sees ukuthi he won't be playing. What do you think could solve our goalkeeping situation? Because right now it doesn't look really good.
Yeah, it's a difficult one. I think Ukune, man, it's nostalgia keeping Ukune. I love Ukune. He's one of our best players that have come from development in Kaizer Chiefs. But now I also feel as a guy that his time is up at Kaizer Chiefs. I think we should be looking to the future now. Peterson, honestly, I've been impressed by Peterson. I like Peterson personally. But I understand that Bafana Bancane who are complaining about maybe not wanting to get first team, because I heard one of them, I think it was Umlefe, Sundown to looking at him for their development. I wouldn't blame them if they did leave, because Nakona, it's a weird situation in our goalkeeping department, because I see with our fan base as well. About Masafunu Ukune, I love Ukune, but no, man. Finally, is something else. Ukune has served the Kaizer Chiefs. He's done extremely well. I think the Chiefs should give him a position, man. position kwezinye izindawo if he retires ahambe maybe ayoba i-goalkeeper coach or something like that. But for me, I don't feel safe with Ukune anymore. If you remember the game we played against, honestly, against Stellenbosch in the MTN 8, that goal Stellenbosch scored where Uzita told him, hey, hlale epalini. And then he came out, they played the ball across, they scored. And then in some other situations, man, when we lost the league on the last day, you remember that? I feel like Okune could have saved that ball, but he left it 1-1. Okune, I feel like, no, man, we should move on from Itumeleng Kune now and start looking for a new goalkeeper, also Figasbambe.
Because, I agree with you for different reasons. Because for me, it's Uguti. After he leaves, what happens then? I can understand Lamayama mistakes and overlook them, but my biggest concern is after he leaves, then what do we do? That's my main concern, because now people are saying, but he brings balance to the team and blah blah blah. Yeah, he helps the team, but if he's the main thing right now with team, my hamba and we don't have a backup plan, especially then what happens? Yes, Peterson, they're improving, but if they don't get enough game time, by the time they get to game time, which according to some of our fans should be after Kone retires, which means Peterson will be somewhere 32, 34, around that age, and now so we see to same dal. So locus dlala le ukuthi ukhipha bethu baba na 35 and then ba retire and then mele, that's my only concern with that. But yeah, I hear you. And I want to talk about something else that has nothing to do with Ukunege manje. Before abantu besithuke kuma comments. Uguti, what have your thoughts been with regards to structure Chiefs? Because I think I talked in another video about Gerard Sbego, club manager, kono football manager, Pobim Town, Kona, team manager, Gerard Sbego, football manager, Pobim Town. What have you made of that structure? Do you think it works? Is it more organized? One informer, it's me who doesn't know. What is going on there?
If it worked in Abesnama Trophy, if it worked, we wouldn't be looking at a trophy drought. We wouldn't be sitting 7 years without a trophy. So, now something is not right with the management at Kaizer Chiefs. It's really difficult to put a finger on what's wrong, but something is not right. Because our player akhona who have been here, I'm a coach who've been here, I touch a yearly management. You don't know who makes the decisions, but it's not working. Its decision-making process here is a very poor one. Buga indaba is striker, right? I'm a fan. First and foremost, that I agree with. Lama player hamba, there's not a single player who I think was a mistake. Because even if you look at Utumsani Zuma, against next Kumazulu, he's not, I don't know whether he fell out of love in the football or in, but looking now, it was a good decision to let him go. One player hambile angeke osho ukuthi hey, this one is playing very well wherever they are. So from that decision, I think that was a good decision. We was trying for a coaching license. It was good to put a ham.
Park.
No way, Bill. You can't be a Chiefs fan in Tando Park.
I am. I respect him for what he has done for a team because that guy has been fighting for a Chiefs. But I digress.
And that is what's killing us. This nostalgia we have about certain people, certain players. We say, no, he's done good. He's done good, Siabonga. But let's move on. Same thing with Ukune. He's done good, Siabonga. We're so grateful. But now we're digressing. We're talking about team management. Yeah, the management. Yes. No, management. I don't think it's been good. It's been poor. Honestly, it's been poor. Decisions have been poor. if mina nawe impilo singayibona problem, because as Kaizer Chiefs fans there's a lot of us and siyahluka ngama opinion, but there are some core opinions where sivumelana khona. Sonke besivumelana ukuthi we needed a striker. Besazi ukuthi that is a problem, we needed to sign a striker.
Sure.
Sonke besivumelana about a DM. Sonke besivumelana about the quality of players that we've signed with. It's not good enough to challenge for the league. Sonke besivumelana ngalokho.
Yeah.
So for our management not to be able to see that, mina I question ukuthi bona babukela liphi ibhola, because sonke besikhala ngento eyi-one, and when the season started kubonakala ukuthi hey vele lapha phambili we needed improvement. Ngoba manje since the season started different three Kaizer Chiefs function at all. They've all been so poor. We talked about Upule Modi, which we need that player. Look at Upule Modi, what he's doing at Equal and Arrows. I think it's like how many goals? He's been scoring a lot for Equal and Arrows.
Especially early season, it was like he was extra motivated to just say, see what you're missing out on.
Exactly. While our players are not friendly, Billiard, Utupre, honestly, I'm going to put his head on the guillotine because he's missed mad chances. Utoli has not been good. Dinga is not raised his socks. So our fan base knew these problems before we headed into the season. We talked about it. We saw Fonela go red. We were vocal about it, but the management could not see these things. So, Mina, no, I'm not happy with the management because the Chiefs. I think the structure is bad. I think they need to rethink the whole thing that they're doing. There was a man just so bon, my results are positive.
No, Nyaguz, I think asibuyele Parker because it's digressive. Sagcine siyishile but asibuyele ke manje. My thing with Tupac, right? This is just my opinion. It's not the ultimate thing. I feel like we did not give him a proper send off that we should give a legend. I know Uguti, there are rumors of Uguti he was offered a coaching job or something in my office and he turned it down. Maybe I'll get him on a show one of these days. Must figure 10,000 subscribers. Subscribe and then I'll invite former players. But Yoguti was invited and then he turned down that contract. But I still feel like one extra year of saying since Upaka basically not strike, that's my argument. We didn't have a striker and Upaka is a utility player who can play swing, can also play Pambil. One extra year, then you give him a proper send-off, Sekbuya Balandeli, then done. That's my argument. I could see why Vele were released because we're rebuilding and we're trying to form a new structure. But I just feel like abadlali kumele ba appreciate it because at the end of the day, umuntu can do so much for the team and not be appreciated. Because I feel like as Kaizer Chiefs fans, there is a time where abadlali they start so well but they end badly. Is that even a word? But ngenxa ukuthi what they did in the end, we then see them in that way. Ukuthi awuphaka beseboza or usibanibani beseboza. Like what you were saying, ukuthi there are things like ukuthi okay, Ukon has been good for us, he has saved us, but it's time to go. You know, it's not ukuthi now he sucks, he's the worst thing that has ever happened to us, but it's like okay, he would benefit us more if he was like a goalkeeper coach because of how good he is. He will teach all our keepers to do distribution. And then we can also move on with the current goalkeepers. So that's where I met with Upaka Uguti. It's not only because of how he played or what was going to give to the team, but more of what, he would have done.
I 100% agree with you. The way that we've sent off some of our players that have dedicated themselves to this team has been really, really poor. Spirit Shabalala, Bennett Parker, all these guys. As long as Panigas that proper send off, a player Malhamba from a team after serving for so long, and a career Bennett Parker Kaizer Chiefs has been a successful one. Okay, Akfanelangas Fumele. These later things that happened in the past few seasons, the cloud the what Penny Parker has done for Kaizer Chiefs. He was there when we won in league back-to-back, 2013, 2014, 2014, 2015. He was there. He was one of Baxter's main players. He was scoring goals, Begadala. He did a lot for the Kaizer Chiefs. And I agree with you in a sense that we should have maybe given him a proper send-off other than to celebrate him. I think he posted up Bennett Parker, Aliva, Kaizer Chiefs. I think it's the most liked one on the Kaizer Chiefs page.
Imagine.
Because I think it has like 15,000 likes. People are so happy that he was gone. I was happy as well, but it was unfair to him as well because he really did give, because Begasuka Peshe, he could have still went on playing Peshe, but then he chose, okay, let me come to Kaizer Chiefs and then try to build a name for myself, and which he did. He was so good when he came. It's just Manj Laktini when he had a problem, but he's been a fantastic player for the Chiefs, and I think he should have gotten a proper send-off.
My question, Futi, with Upaka, I think players don't select themselves. If our coaches saw Upaka was that bad, if, as people were saying, why then not blame the coach who's picking Upaka? Because people were blaming. Because right now, can we just be honest? But last season, as much as he was poor as well at times when he was given opportunity. And this season, when he was given a chance, we wasted until he came a Pirate. And it's been good. Good lap. But that's the only game that I can point to. But still, as big players, they come up and they prove themselves. Like we say, now last season. This season, Waloke Etolama cameo last 20 minutes, Afigangena perform, eventually became a start. So I feel like if begune bias velu ukuthi mhlambe abantu bamcupha uParker ngokwenza into, and then when he made another mistake, they built on top of that, and then they ended up just hating him in a way that I feel like has been more than what he deserves. Because yes, there are things that he has done that I've not been happy with, but he has done more good than bad. Ngilapho nguPark.
No, I 100% agree with what you say. My reasons, I always feel like, I feel like if a player is grounded, he should contribute to the team positively. So Parker being maybe as bad as he was, because he was bad. He was bad this season. Let's not run away from that. There was this one time I came in, we are coach, this guy. Upaka has been bad, but it's not, I think it was, people were using him as a scapegoat. It wasn't only him that was bad, but the entire system in Kaizer Chiefs with these different coaches, changing of coaches, all these things were basis frustrated. So obviously vele besifuna umuntu osokhiphela isibhongo phezu kwakhe, and then was uPark. Sakhetha yena ukuthi nangu umuntu. As bad as he was not the only person to blame at that time. I understand, Ginger. I do feel ukuthi some of the blame that was given to him was unfair, because it was a lot of things that were going wrong. Which now made everyone so angry. No, let's be honest, he needed to leave. This guy needed to leave. 100.
No, I think it was at that point, Vele, where it wasn't healthy for him either, because fans were brutal. Uguti, they didn't care for him, and they didn't care Uguti, it hurt him or not. They just didn't care. They wanted him out of the club. And it was just that.
I listened to his interview with Mike Macab on Ikakasi FM, where he Chiefs after they let him go, and then he was just talking about what his plans for the future are and all these things. And one of the things he mentioned, because Usimto, who was the host of Ukakas, was asking him, Uguti, so the fans didn't want you to start, and they were very vocal about you. So what do you think made the coach choose you all the time to start a game? And he made a mention of how he handled himself in the dressing room. Like he was a motivator to the other players. He was always the first one to figure Chimini. He was always the last one to leave at Chimini. And it was sort of like a father figure to the rest of the Kaizer Chiefs players. So yeah, he accounts that mostly as being the reason why he was starting all of the games, because he was such a good example to the other to the players and to everyone, which I think was something that the Chiefs beating a good dressing room. Because if you hear the stories coming out about so I don't know how true they are, but from hearing those stories, you do see why someone like Upaka was needed to go dressing room in Kaizer Chiefs. But from a playing point of view, no.
Because it's interesting that you've touched on that, because Mintendorp came out and talked about the Chiefs, and when I made a video reacting to that, and people didn't watch it because my favorites abantu Ukune noMatoho Uguti.
Yes.
Bona, there's also, it's not just a speculation by Mintendorp, there is video evidence of them drinking during COVID. So it's not like he was just making up things. Like Ukados, I'm not saying he made up things, but sne proof katumsan ukuthi vele wayiphuza utshwala and waba suspended multiple times. But abantu, they are running away from the fact yokuthi Ukune noMatoho did handle themselves unprofessionally, and we can talk about that and people don't like that. But it's the fact yokuthi labantu laba bese beku Chiefs almost as long as Upaka himself at that time, fighting for a title at the time we were supposed to stay in a good moment. Bona benza lento ababenza, and Upaka was there staying as that player. Because if you look at Chiefs right now, one of the things that Ukune has added since coming back to the team, he learned leadership, and he's now kind of replacing Upaka. But I feel like Upaka should have never been in a position of being the ultimate leader. Ekbeni kuno muntu who's been at the club longer than him. You understand? So I feel like it does make sense, as you said, Tuguti. Since the other ones were supposed to be doing that weren't doing it, then Upaka took that, and then he became the leader of the team.
And what you're saying is true. This thing about Umirendo, I've always felt Tuguti where he turned the Kaizer Chiefs. I always felt like Umirendo was Umunto's Nigele who wanted Kaizer Chiefs to succeed. I understand that, but I always did feel Umirendo always had a soft spot for the Chiefs. I didn't like the way he played. He did get us to number one. We were there. One of the main reasons we lost, as he said, was the players. And this comes back to management the Kaizer Chiefs. Ukune no Matoho do these things. As a management, what are you doing? Because manje, this is a big club. We cannot have this unprofessionalism at this football club. Fanele lezinto lezi kubonakala ukuthi hey umuntu othatha owenza these decisions uzothathela isinyathelo immediately. Then nalama younger player and other players see ukuthi hey, we have to stay away from these things because man, we could lose a job, we could be in trouble. So
sure. If
our Matona Bukuna Bapuza and then they continue starting games, it kills the whole team. Because man, if let's say maybe for example I'm Kama Piliat, you lock down, I keep on practicing Yajima, I do my ultimate best to be ready for when the season starts again. But so starting 11. That does not motivate me as a player. So, isn't as little things that affect the team, decision snacks that kill the team, as in the team have trophyless for 7 seasons, these small little things. So leadership is needed to Kaizer Chiefs. Dressing room, Sting umuntu vele raise isandla abe leader, because Keagan Dolly is not the one. He's not the one. He's a fantastic footballer, but he's not a leader.
Where do you see Chiefs finishing the season? Power League and with regards to Ama Trophy?
As in below, when you ask that question, a lot of controversial things pop up in my mind. But I don't see us winning a trophy. I honestly don't. that performance against Amazulu, I always reference that performance. I cannot believe how poor we were on the day. I cannot believe what the Chiefs were that poor. That they were acting like a team a winning treble last season, where they were not hungry enough to go for it on the day. So when I look at that performance, I know some of these performances are going to come in the Nedbank Cup, in the important games in the league, but just give us those performances that they gave against Amazulu. So if we're not going to sign players, Manji January, and when I'm talking about signing players, I'm talking about signing quality players. I'm a player as of a match winner, players that are going to make a difference into the team. It's going to be another trophyless season. The Pirates are going to finish above us. Amatima Zamai, the Richards Bay have really had a good season. If they continue going that way, they might finish above us, which is Angazimina. So I don't see us winning a trophy. It's I like a player who has Chiefs. Mpilo elinginikeza ithemba.
How?
No, honestly speaking, because if it's 0-0, ubani uzoscorela Mpilo. Now 0-0, it's an important game. Who's gonna score the goal for the Chiefs? I like a player and would die. Now umuntu bishim. Now, if you look at, for example, Sundowns, you have multiple players you think Coach H has thinking in this guy can change the game for us. If you look at the Pirates, you have in mind what's okay. You come into Erasmus, he can make a difference, this player. Sure. If you look at Tusaling, the form he's been in, you can think, okay, if it's 0-0 or we're losing 1-0, this guy can make a difference as win a league game or a score a league goal or ends something special which is win game. Who guys achieves I keep playing niggas that confidence. If we look at our defense, players like Cabo Dove, they've been excellent. Okay, if Edmondson are corner, then we might have an upper hand in a game. Unjabulo Plum has been phenomenal. Naima corner starting 11, it gives me that okay, we have a solid team today. But when I look at our attacking players, no man, these guys have been out of form. Upilat has been poor, even to a point where who's this guy? Professor Ati, he's been lying about his age because now and he's right. Tupilat has been poor. He's been unbelievably poor. Uduprier has been poor. Udoli has been poor. Upimenimnyana is a Sangamboni guy. When push comes to shove, can you give us something? So honestly, for now, I don't see us winning anything because I don't see our attacking players Utubani who can lift us up if we can go so nabo what in lamatima mancane lawo bo Cape Town Callies team enjalo and bashaya goal baphaki pass, who's going to be the player that also unlock a defense a score a goal?
Sure.
We don't have that player also zenza listen to this. So I'm not being negative, I'm being realistic, Mangiti. There's very little chance which is going to win a silverware. This is very little chance.
No, I hear you. Thank you so much for watching the video. And until next time, remember, equals.
I'll pay more.
Yeah.